Absolutely phenomenal morning, guys. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Shaan East, as always, flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. And hey, guys, listen, it's the second quarter of the week, right? It's the second quarter of the week. Like, where are you at in your numbers? Like, yesterday was the first quarter of the week. The first quarter. Most people say, well, it's Monday. I'm going to get started on Wednesday. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the week. I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to kind of ease into this week, right? But if you missed yesterday, if you missed the mark yesterday, first quarter of the week, you get another shot. You get another shot, but don't play games. Don't play games because this is the second quarter of the week. You know what happens tomorrow? It's the midterm. Midterm. If you don't pass midterms, you know what happens. You get terminated, right? You got to go back. You lost the week. You lose tomorrow, you lose the week. Make sure you win the day. And how do you win the day? You win the day by winning the morning. And how do you win the morning? You must win your mind. You must win the battle with your mind when you wake up in the morning. If you're here, you won the battle with your mind this morning. You won the battle with your mind. Matter of fact, share this out, guys. Share this out. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on LinkedIn, multiple times on Facebook. Guys, share this out because somebody you know, somebody near and dear to you, they're losing the morning. This is critical. This is critical. This is why we share this out. This is why we say share it out, because if you're here, then you won the battle with your mind this morning. You won the battle with your habits. You won the battle against the bed and the alarm clock. But somebody you know, near and dear to you, that is crucial. They're pertinent to your winning the championship. Remember, you can't do it alone. Michael Jordan was a beast by himself, but he wasn't a champion until he had a team. You need a team, and they're counting on you to help them win the morning. Share this out. Bobby Jackson, I'm feeling excited this morning, extremely passionate, very purposeful, on target, on mark. What about yourself?
Feeling the same. I'm feeling the same. It's what came to my mind about winning the morning was food. So for me, I like to work out in the morning. And it's easier, I think, to maintain diet, maintain discipline, drink your water when you hit it early. Because when you eat something, nasty or outside of your diet, it's not really what you were trying to do. It doesn't feel good if you work out first. Because it's just like, it's incongruent. So I think that that's just a little hack that you can use. Whatever you're trying to carry throughout the day, do something big early and as quickly as possible that makes doing the thing that's not in alignment with what you're trying to do and how you're trying to grow, that's just going to help you. You just got to help yourself. And that's what working out does for me.
Very good. So one of the things that I was training on this morning during the sales training, guys, every single morning we do sales training. And as you can tell, I'm not in the office. I'm in the mobile office, right? I'm en route, like I'm traveling, I'm speaking, right? So this is one of me on assignments situations. I'm not in the office. However, I do the same thing every single morning, sales training after working out, right? So I work out this morning, wake up early, work out, cold shower, go get the coffee, do the things that we do, right? Coffee, water. And I'm having a sales training and I'm talking about vision. And I'm saying to my team, I'm like, you got to have a compelling vision that helps you to say yes and helps you to say no. Helps you to say yes to the hard things. The things like waking up early in the morning, the things like running first thing or beating your body up, brutality, like beating the weakness out of you every single morning. And then hitting the cold shower, not because it feels good. It hurts, actually. It hurts and it defies logic. But it makes all the sense in the world if you want to become successful and a person who wins in life at doing the hard things. My wife can sleep. My children can sleep comfortably because they know their father is crushing it. The provider is winning every single morning. They don't have to bat an eye and wonder where I'm at or what I'm doing. because they can count on me. I'm dependable. I'm reliable. I defied odds. I said leadership is not the brand they made for us. We have to create that brand for ourselves. CEO, not the brand they made for us. We have to create that brand for ourselves. Employer, not the brand they made for us. We have to create those brands for ourselves. Employee is the brand they made for us, and we have to switch that. Middle class is the brand they made for us, and we have to switch that. Follower is the brand they made for us. Single father, single mother. Unmarried is the brand they made for us. We need to change those things. Sloppy, unfit, heart disease, cardiovascular. There's so many different problems and so many different brands and so many different medicines and so many different limitations that they make for us. And we need to change it. And it starts with you being on this call. So if you're here, phenomenal. Kudos to you. Congratulations. You made it. But who's still in the battlefield of the bed? Who's still in the battlefield, losing the battle with the bed, losing the battle with depression, losing the battle with obesity, losing the battle with broken relationships, broken homes, broken economy, broken psychology, broken physiology? Who's stuck? Who's stuck this morning? I want to give you an opportunity to really think about it. Did I share this out? And did I share it out with the right intent? Tag somebody, tag someone who needs this, just like you know you do. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. We never come to play. There's slow growth, and then there's scale. There's incremental growth, and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaways just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
I just felt like talking to the people this morning, the hearts. Yeah. Right? I want to talk to the hearts this morning.
You know, as we dive into the hearts, we just talked to you all this morning. One of the things that I wrote down that I think a lot of us can find interesting is we have all the energy to do what we need to do. The problem is, most times in my experience, is we don't have any direction for that energy. So as y'all look at the brand challenge at the bottom, like that was a director for me. But I want to give you guys a story here real quick. I remember being the guy that nobody wanted to go through the drive-thru with. Now I stay away from that stuff today. But back in the day, there was a time where I would go to McDonald's and I would demand that my burger have 5 pickles on it, light lettuce, 2 squirts of mustard, literally in the drive-thru, 2 cups of ketchup, all of these things made, cooked to order, and please shake my fries. Extra salt. Now, what I need you all to understand right here is I just demanded something.
A heart attack.
A heart attack. And I sat there and I said, I need it like this. And I had the audacity to drive off, check my bag, not have the extra sauce that I asked for, go back there, walk in, open my bag, and say, I need what I asked for. Now, why I laugh at this story is because there's something that you're probably doing right now. You're demanding, you're there on time. And if it's wrong, you're taking it back and you're demanding what you want. But when it comes to the business, when it comes to the health, when it comes to the fitness, when it comes to collecting cash by doing the work necessary to do so, we're not as demanding. And that's interesting. That's interesting. So that's something I just want you guys to think about this morning. I love how Shaan put this. He was like, what are you a soldier for? And as I pass it to him, you know, I remember that being in the drive-thrus. And now I take that same energy, which is what I open this up with, is how is your energy being directed? Are you taking all that energy that you have and directing it towards the right things? And if you're not, then you can fix that simply with the redirection of energy.
I remember Montel Jordan. I think his name was Montel Jordan. Remember the guy, the talk show host? Montel Williams, maybe.
I think it's Jordan. I think you got it right. Montel Jordan.
Okay, so Montel used to have this guy come out who was a staff sergeant. Like, he was a beast. He was one of the Army. He was like a Marine. And when people were doing things wrong, he would come out and he would just scream in their face and give them like a scream shower. And just like bathe them in what they weren't doing, what they needed to do, or what would happen to them if they didn't do it, right? So this is one of those mornings, guys. Share this out to somebody who needs like a scream shower and needs somebody to really, really wake them up. Montel Williams, thank you very much, right? My team coming to my aid. Thank you so much for that, right? So watch this. What are you a soldier for? Because the reason and where this comes from, right? So I'm in a specific spot, speaking to a specific individual, like dynamic. The people that I'm going to be speaking to today are of a specific dynamic. So there's a lot of soldiers around. There's a lot of soldiers around. So I go and grab. So I actually had company in the gym this morning. However, they were not there before me. As I'm getting done with my run, they're coming in, and I'm like, okay, guys, have at it. Because I'm done. I've already smashed it. I'm not in the Army. I'm in a different army. I'm in a different battlefield. But I'm present on the battlefield with soldiers getting ready for their everyday routine. You have to have your everyday routine, and you have to think about your standards. What are your standards? It's one thing that our phenomenal guest on the last week's Breakfast with the Brand on Saturday was talking about, Joel D. Smith, and he'll be back next Saturday, right? So get ready, write it in your books, mark it on your calendars. Highly demanded part 2, battle tested, war proven, living leadership legend. We're not giving people flowers after they're deceased here. We're living the life, and we want you to be a part of it, right? So anyway, I go get my coffee in the morning, and there's other people, you know, doing the things that they do. And I'm just looking at them because there's some are soldiers and some are soldiers for sausage. Soldiers of sausage, soldiers of flapjacks, soldiers of pancakes. So I'm wondering, and I want to ask you a question, like, what are you a soldier for and what are you a soldier of? Because we're a soldier of business. I'm here to help you change your business, change your life, change your revenue, change your mindset, change your ecology, environment, psychology, and economy. That's what I'm a soldier for. So that's why I was in the gym before anybody touches it. What are you a soldier for? Are you a soldier of fortune? Or are you a soldier of misfortune, doing all of the things that misfortune demands of you, not making investments, not doing the hard things, taking breaks, not letting people know what you stand for, knowing you should be using this utensil to make cold calls, but no, it's too hard. So you become a soldier of complacency and a soldier of tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, but not today. I want to help you understand something, that we create cultures with what we do today. When you say, well, I'll handle it tomorrow, I'll do the things tomorrow, I'll pay the bills tomorrow, I'll get in school tomorrow, I'll write the book tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. And your children, the people who are entrusted to you to see the example of leadership, they learn excuses from you, or they learn execution from you. One or the other, never the middle. There is no gray areas in leadership. There is no gray areas in execution. So your children and those entrusted to your example, which is everyone who sees you, everyone who looks upon you. I walk past children all the time, and when I walk past them, they get an example of what leadership should look like. I'm sober, I'm clean, I'm shaven, I'm direct, I'm not moving slow, I'm moving fast. I have a purpose, I have direction, I have a wife, I have children, they're well taken care of, and we move a certain kind of way. And I want you to think, because you're a soldier of something right now. Everybody watching this, like, don't get it twisted. You are a soldier of something. And I just want you to think about it and quantify it. What am I a soldier of?
Yeah. I was reading a book yesterday, and the author said that stress is just pressure that you put off. I thought that was pretty insightful. So everybody's got pressure. Everybody is dealing with something, handling something, but it's the pressure that we put off that turns into stress. And you're stressed, it's probably because the pressure wasn't handled. See, pressure done right is a privilege. So as I'm listening to this and I'm thinking about what I'm a soldier of, me being a soldier in business, I also served 12 years in the United States Marine Corps. So when I think back to my time as a Marine, we had a PFT and a CFT. PFT was physical fitness test, CFT was combat fitness test. And these tests were held at the same time every year. Your PFT was January to June, CFT July to December. Now we would see the same individuals every year, year round, know exactly when the PFT was due. They would not start training until 30 days out. They wouldn't start training until 15 days out. And some of them would be so, there's not even a word for them. They're just so negligent that they would go to the doctor's office right when it was time to run the PFT and try to ask for a light duty chit. A light duty chit says, I can't run, I'm broken. And then they will go through, and it's just disgusting, right? And sometimes I say that to say this, there may be some stress in your life that you can get rid of if you turn the pressure into a privilege. And the only way we can turn the pressure into a privilege is by handling the pressure properly. And as I think back to some of the branded like a leader challenges and some of the ultimate brand challenges that we did, one of the ones that was stressing me out that I learned to work for my good was remote teams. So I had a team and we were struggling.
Okay.
Say
it again. Say it again. You go.
I said I had a team and we were struggling. It was like 10 of us, right? And the pressure was on me to let some of them go. right? I needed to let some of them go because I was paying them all too, right? And the stress kicked in because I didn't handle the pressure. The pressure was confront them, coach them, consult them, cut them if they're not ready to do what they need to do. And I went to the brand challenge and I sat there and I heard something talking about remote teams and people just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, not adding money to the bottom line, and you got to let them go. I started letting people go. And as I started letting people go, the stress went with them. And as the stress went with them, the pressure became a privilege, and the privilege turned into profit. So I just wanted to share that with somebody. As we just pull on those heartstrings this morning, we just talk about business and life. Like if you're stressed out, might be some pressure. You can boom, 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 handle.
Pressure became a privilege and privilege became a profit. I love it, guys. Listen, so there's something that you're not tackling. There's something that you're not tackling and you know you need to do it. You know you need to do it. You know you need to get it done. Like it's not going to come any easier. Like it's not tomorrow's not going to be easier than yesterday, guys. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's going to be harder than yesterday based on what you're doing. The test becomes harder. The questions become harder. What do they call it? The interest becomes higher. If you don't pay the bill today, you end up paying more tomorrow. If you don't pay the whole price, you end up paying extra, breaking it down into payments. But you say, I want to break it down into payments because it's gonna help. It's going to alleviate immediate pressure, but it's going to increase future pressure. This economy is trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Like just credit card debt. And you know what credit card debt is? Credit card debt is immediate gratification. The want and desire of things that we don't really, really deserve. And we get penalized because of having that mindset that we want things that we haven't yet deserved. Say, I want the cake. Listen to this, guys, and watch how my psychology works. Think of how I think. You hear what I'm saying, but think of how I think. We reach for a $500 belt that we can't readily afford. So one of two things happen. We pay for the belt full cash, but we haven't really earned it. So what happens? We suffer later for a bad decision because we come up light somewhere else. A person says, okay, I'm going to feasibly do it. I'm going to do it the smart way. I'm going to put that's even worse because now your $500 belt just became $1,200 and you're going to, and the interest is going to continue to accrue and accrue and accrue. So it gets worse and worse and worse. Now let's look at this from a diet standpoint. Standpoint says, I want a piece of cake. Now, you know, you haven't positioned yourself to say, I really want a piece of cake because you're not going to cut the calories tomorrow. You're not going to do any of those things. So one piece of cake becomes two pieces of cake, becomes three pieces, becomes the whole cake. And before you know it, you're waking up in the morning with a stomach ache. And then what we do becomes habits and patterns. So now we're in the habit and pattern of saying, you know what, Bobby? I deserve a piece of cake. I worked. So I earned a piece of cake every single day. And I earned to sleep late every single morning. And I earned to take a break. And I earned all of the things that are negative so that you don't really have very many positive things in your life. And you want to look at your life as like balances and checks, like what balances and what course corrections, what are you doing more of? Are you doing more of the things that build a fortune, or are you doing more of the things that build a misfortune? Do you have more habits that build a fortune, or do you have more habits that build a misfortune? I don't let people gossip around me. I don't entertain laziness around me, slack talk, entertainment talk. People try to tell me about the usher and the lead. As soon as people mention an entertainer, I'm gone. I tap out. I digress. I leave the scene of the crime because to me, it's a crime when we talk about other people and we still have things to do. When we entertain the thought of what other people are or are not doing when we still have things to do, to me, is a crime and someone should be arrested, especially if that someone is in charge of other people's livelihoods. This is Breakfast with the Brand. I want you to ruminate on what we just talked about. Come back with your thoughts. If you have any comments, put it in the chat. This is a conversation. This is live. We do this live every day. This is not recorded. So you can comment. You can disagree. That's okay. Put it in the chat. It's okay. You can disagree. We are about healthy discourse. This is living leadership. Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. That's Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so somebody hit me on the back end and said, Shaan, I thought we were talking about branding. And I didn't want to answer on the back end. I wanted to answer it live. So somebody, I won't mention names, but somebody said, I thought we were talking about branding this morning. We are talking about branding this morning, concerned citizen. Branding is behavior. Your brand is what you're known for. They say your brand is your reputation, or how people think of you before or after you enter or leave the room. How you're thought of outside of your absence. And the way you're thought of outside of your absence is your behavior. If people think highly of you when you're not in the room, it's because of your behavior. If people think poorly of you after you leave the room or before you enter the room, it's because of your behavior. When people know that you're coming, this is why speakers get crowds and audiences. This is why I'm flown to go speak, because I have a specific behavior about me. And people entrust you. People pay you based on your behavior. The level of your brand is the level of your behavior. If you're not getting clients, it's because people can't trust your behavior. They can't trust you to fulfill on your promises, and they think that your promises are not backed by solid behavior. Behavior is brand. Your brand is your behavior. It's what you do. It's how you do what you do. It's really an edification or an extension of who you are. That's why I say brand you, not what you do. You will be known by your behavior, but your behavior comes from your core. Like when people see my team on the inside, when my team handles something for me, those are my investments. That's my behavior. I have a business because of my behavior. I have a team because of my behavior. My business, my brand, my team is all my investments. My health is my investments. My energy this morning is my investments. My education is my investments. This is what I'm a soldier of: expansion, business, growth, possibility, branding, leadership, vision. What is your behavior?
Wow. I enjoy thinking about these types of questions, connecting the brand to the personality and to the actual person, because it makes me ask the question, are actually, I'll phrase it like this. Many of us don't know who we are. And I'll speak for myself. Like, I didn't know who I was. And I know this because I've taken 3 brand assessments in like 3 years, and they've all been very different. And it's because I'm growing and developing. Those that don't know what a DISC assessment is, you'll probably see one eventually, maybe like a link or something. But it's pretty much, it talks about behavior. And what I think is really interesting about brand and brand behavior and business is that most times we're giving people that answer that they think they want, that we think they want, instead of giving them the answer that's true. And you are the brand, but you can't really be the brand until you're true to you. And I was struggling with that quite a bit. Like, I kept giving people the answer that the schools told me they needed, that I should give them. I kept giving them the answer that my college education said I should give them. My mom said I should give them. And when so many people are telling you who you're supposed to be, your brand can get buried beneath all of that.
Ooh,
and
come on.
That can be an extremely interesting scenario. So what we're talking about this morning are the notes that I've taken: pressure, and how to turn that pressure into profit. On the other side, I took some notes about what are you a soldier of. I took some notes about the need to be compelling and how you have to have that compelling vision to get yourself to do the big things. All of these things can be designed to act like a shovel. If your brand has been buried by people that were meaning well but misguided, moms, dads, teachers, governments, music industries, you need a shovel at times. And you have to discover and uncover your true self. And as you go through this process of real, authentic communication and conversation, what you'll find is, so I'll be transparent with you guys, I realized I'm not a high C. I literally took a DISC assessment this morning, or excuse me, I'm not a high I. I thought I was a high I, all these, like, because I'm a Gemini, I like to talk, so to speak. But when I really took the DISC assessment this morning, I was like, it told me you're not a high I. So what does that mean for you in business? Somebody probably told you, or you probably believed or assumed an identity for a long time, and it lined up for a while. But the more you start to dig into you, and the more you start to uncover yourself and get around the right people, like without my coach, Shaan, I definitely wouldn't have seen myself the way I do today, because you can't see the label when you're in the bottom. So I needed someone on that outside to say, hey, your brand is developing. He hit me this morning. He's like, hey, David is emerging inside. But David is emerging. So I say that to just keep this on track, and as I pass it back to Shaan here. But as you uncover yourself and as you dig things up and as you find your brand, one thing that you might want to pay some attention to is, who have people called you? What have you bought into? And who are you really? And the moment you can accept that part of you unapologetically and get into the marketplace with that brand authenticity, which we will be talking about, I believe it's 22nd, like, it's a crusher. You become an absolute crusher.
You pay for truth. Let me just say that, like, you pay for truth. the more you pay, the truer you get. Like the more truth you get, the higher degree of truth. So you go into kindergarten and they're like, oh, you're so cute. That's probably a lie. That's probably a lie. Like you're born to your parents love you. They say, oh, doesn't he look handsome? It's probably not true. When you go into the army, you see, they get paid to tell you the truth. And they surely tell you the truth about yourself. If you go to because I've done both, if you go to a community college, they're going to treat you a certain kind of way. The more you pay for school, the truer the professors become, the higher the degree of truth. You're not okay. You're not cute. It's not okay. Someone's always going to try to make you feel comfortable when you're making small investments. It's okay. You're doing fine. Second place is great, Tommy. Third place, you did it good. You crushed it. No, in real life, in real business, third place or second place is first loser. I want you to understand, like in business, no one's going to play with you. No one's going to come and pay your rent. Like no one's going to help you to become moldable and coachable and phenomenal unless you make a high investment. The higher the investment, the higher the degree of truth. That's just what it is. Try to listen to a soccer coach out there in third grade. He's going to give the kids a pep rally. You're doing fine. Just speed up a little bit. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Everybody's okay. Even the losers. Like, let's go have pizza, guys. It's okay. We lost. We did our best. In real life, does your best win? Does your best win, or do you need a new best? Write that down. Does your best win, or do you need a new best? And if you need a new best, then you need a new investment. You need a higher degree of truth. So right here, you get a degree of truth. I'm going to give you an extremely high degree of truth because I believe that you're not paying me. Like I believe that you can't pay me. There's no amount of money that you could pay me for my time, realistically. That comes from a higher power. That comes from a higher source. However, if you want more intense access to the truth that you're getting here, the Ultimate Brand Challenge. The Ultimate Brand Challenge is where you'll get 3 days of condensed truth. You will find out what business media really means, how to crush it on social for real, not vanity metrics, not ego economy, real cash collected. Making Facebook your bank book, making YouTube pay you, making grands on Instagram. What do you call it? Bands on Insta bands from your Insta brand on Instagram. It's not a game. We never came to play. It's not word semantics. This is what we've done. This is who we are. This is what we do. How to deal with remote teams. Bobby said, what should I do with my team? I said, how much money are they making per employee? He gave me a number. I said, get rid of all of them. I said, get rid of every single person on your team because you're not running an employment agency. You're caring for people. Are any of them your blood? If they're not your blood, get rid of them because they don't love you. You're paying them to destroy your business. You keep going in that direction, you'll be out of business soon. It's the real truth I gave him. Why? Because he paid me to tell him the truth. That's what I get paid for, to tell people the truth. Everybody you pay probably lying to you, probably giving you a little piece of the truth. You should probably do this. You should probably do that. You should probably practice this. I'm going to say you're going to do this or you're going to die in business. When it comes to remote teams, I'll tell you how to hire, how to fire, how to find, how to locate, and how to deploy, how to develop. Authenticity marketing. I'm not going to lie to you. Like you don't put no, it was something that Joe Smith said on the back end of talking. We talked about the talk that we had on Saturday, and he said, well, nobody here is going to put their hands on me, so I'm comfortable speaking. And I had never looked at it that way, but I'm extremely confident and comfortable in speaking. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I grew up in like Vietnam, so I don't fear things. Definitely not people. So I'm comfortable speaking in front of people, and I don't mince my words because I write my own checks. Nobody employs me. I'm probably not employable right now because I make rules. I make policy. So I'm going to give you authenticity, and authenticity marketing is being yourself, being comfortable in your skin, being authentic, being able to really be you at the beginning and the end of the day. See, guys, we take off so many pieces of ourselves throughout our day. We wake up one way, we talk to the wife one way, we drink our coffee one way, but then we leave that certain part of us at the house before we get on the train because we got to conform. And we conform on the way to work. Or we might have a little bit of an attitude on the train, like brisk. But then when we get to the door of the office or the door of the job, it's like, okay, let me hang up this hat because I can't show any attitude in here. I can't be my authentic self in here. There's so many things that I disagree with in society. And that's why I say there needs to be a new face of leadership. And that's why I freely give you the ability to empower yourself so you can create a new economy, so you can really be authentic in your skin and not have to conform when you fit yourself into these little boxes. The little box cubicle, the little box car, the little box office with your little box phone, looking at a little box TV with a box head boss that you feel like you got to dress a certain kind of way to impress so that you're acceptable in the office, no matter what degree you have. And you got box talk. You talk about what happened on the box last night, or what happened on the box football field or in the boxing ring. We don't have original thoughts. We don't have circular thoughts. I'm talking about being authentic and marketing who you truly are to the people that accept you and appreciate you or get to stepping on. Like they can easily leave. They should love you or leave you. And you should be able to create your own economy with your own psychology. And this is the truth. The authentic truth is that you can. There are people who will love you for you, accept you for you, pay you for you, believe in you for you. You do not have to conform. You do not have to wear a little box suit or a box tie to go to a box office in your box car to live a box life. It's not a reality. If you wear a suit, it should be because you choose to. I like the way they fit. There was a time when I didn't. I thought it was a monkey suit. I thought you only wore a suit to go to church or somebody's funeral. You can change your mind. You can change your vision. You can change your reality. You can change your pay grade. That's authenticity marketing. And you do it with your name, image, and likeness, which is what I'll be talking about on the Ultimate Brand Challenge. How to add a zero to your number. You make $80,000 a year. Phenomenal. How would you like to make 800? From your face, from your name. When people borrow the image of you and the logos you use, when people want to. So when I come to somewhere to speak, my name sells tickets. The organization borrows my credibility. So they can get visibility, so they can get validity. I get profitability, but they do too. And I get a portion of that for providing a phenomenal service. But that service does not have to conform. People that I'm a kid from Philadelphia. I'm just a kid from Harlem. My story remains the same. Delegation, how to delegate, how to train, how to develop, how to deploy human resources. When I began my business, I did not have checks for people. I had a vision. I had a vision and I had discipline to deploy the vision so people around me believed in the vision. They said, oh, wow, well, he's going to get it done one way or the other, so I want to be a part of it. Are you compelling? Can your story sell, or do you just tell your vision, or can you sell your vision? You should be able to sell it. If it's believable by you, if you really believe it, then other people will too. But you got to have confidence, and your confidence comes from competence. And if you don't have competence, you'll learn it on the brand challenge. Everybody has a degree of competence. If you're watching this, you cannot be comical. You have to be logical. You cannot be but too emotional here. You have to be educated, experienced, and expertise. I have a certain kind of vernacular. People who don't have a propensity to do more, be more, and have more, they don't have the appetite for me. And I'm phenomenal with that. I use big words on purpose. I have big ideas on purpose. I communicate huge, concrete, and abstract realities on purpose. And what I do with my language is I push the wrong people away and I make room for the right people. So I push the wrong people away and I pull the right people in the room. I do it on purpose. That's leadership. That's delegation. And if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone else. So we'll be talking about business media, remote teams, authenticity marketing, name, image, and likeness, and delegation during the Ultimate Brand Challenge. That's what we'll be talking about. And you'll be doing it with me if you choose VIP, like 21 hours, 24 hours in 3 days. Whew, that's a bath. Yeah, that's a business bath. That's a business and branding baptized. You will be baptized in business and branding. Your life and the way you see things will never be the same. You'll be able to see through all of the vulnerabilities and varieties and invalidities in your business market. In your vertical, you'll be able to see through people. You'll be able to see through the lies. And you'll be able to tell what's real and what's not in yourself and in other people. You'll be able to walk on water when it comes to business. We made Facebook our bank book in less than 90 days organically. No funnel, no email. All the stuff they're trying to sell you, we didn't have any of that stuff. We had a vision, we had a purpose, we had a heart to help people. If you got a phone, you got everything that I had to do it with.
Man, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to be there. I hope you're there. Share this out. That's a share this out moment. Like, please make sure that somebody that needs some insight and needs some understanding on how to get their business going gets this. One thing that I wrote down as I was going through this was IP, intellectual property. I wrote down IP because we never stop learning. So why should we stop earning? You know, that's what I thought. I was thinking about the military because I served 12 years in the Marine Corps. And I was like, I'm done at E9 because I was enlisted. So you can go up from E1 up to E9. That's the cap. Now, I can learn more, but I can't go over E9. I can get another degree, but I can't go over E9. And in the military, you can only earn based on the amount of rank that you have and say time in service or seniority. But you're really not making any more than any other E9 that has the same amount of time and grade. Same thing in the regular world, regular corporate environment. If you are in a particular line item, so to speak, so let's say you're on an organizational chart, they have budgeted for you. So they said, hey, you got this much money budgeted to this resource, and no matter how much education you get, you may say, hey, I'm overqualified, I'm leaving. Well, if they can't afford you and they can't move money from the budget, then okay, you're gone. But what this really says in business, and why I wrote down what I wrote down and what I love about the Ultimate Brand Challenge here, is that your intellectual property can be monetized in a way that infinitely and continuously increases your economic capacity if you know how to do it. And that's what I think is so phenomenal about a brand, because for lack of better terms, until you're dead and gone, your brand lives on. And if you build the brand big enough, strong enough, even after that, it'll keep on going. So the beauty of taking intellectual property, what you are, who you've been, and what you've overcome, monetizing that, packaging that, branding that, putting that in the marketplace, and letting your past pains, traumas, and dramas generate for you commas. I mean, it's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
You're either a commodity or an oddity. So I've always been an oddity. People ask me, Shaan, when did you begin speaking? I said, I came out speaking. I came out of the womb speaking, and around the kindergarten, maybe the first or second grade, they had a permanent chair for me outside the principal's office. I've been speaking and leading ever since then. I was the kid whose teacher told the parents of other kids to look out if your child begins to walk with Shaan, like watch him because he's going to do some grown stuff. Like they're going to do grown stuff. Like Shaan doesn't think about second grade stuff. He thinks about seventh grade stuff. And he might leave school. He's going to probably leave the premises. He'll check in. He'll come in. He'll make sure that you see him. But then he'll say, can I go to the bathroom, and be gone for the rest of the day. Because I had big dreams, guys. I had big visions, and those visions couldn't be contained in a second grade classroom, third grade classroom, or seventh grade classroom, right? But watch this. If you've suffered the same, if people looked at you like an oddity, that meant that you were not born to be a commodity. That means you were not born to have limitation. You were not born to be in the box. So make huge investments in yourself. You don't have to invest with us, but make huge investments. When I say huge investments, you got to, I tell everybody this, I say you got to trade. You got to be willing to trade. We're still trading. The River Nile is where trading used to take place. Now, your mind is the River Nile. It's the river of either milk and honey or the river of destitution and where ideas go to die. And it's based on the level of your investments. Investments are trading. You're trading stock. What greater stock is there than you? I didn't believe in any stock that was greater than me, so I always invested in me. And people looked at me like I was crazy, and they, by conventional means, they were right. I was an oddity, not a commodity. And I got 3 master's degrees, so I could easily make $500,000 on salary. But $500,000 to me looks like a quarter. I want you to understand something. If you were not born to be a commodity, then you were born to be an oddity, what they call an outlier. So your pay should be higher than the norm, than conformity. And to make that happen, you have to invest. You got to be willing to trade 4 figures for 5. People say the investment is too high, but how much money do you want to make? How much freedom do you want to experience? You got to be willing to trade 6 figures for 7, 7 figures for 8, and 8 figures for 9. I don't know another way. You have to be willing to break yourself in half and recreate yourself from what's left, from the base material that are left and the new information that's introduced. I told Bobby, I said, your former self will not be able to exist here. You got to burn that man down. I'll help light the fire. Yes, sir. I'll help light the fire and have no mercy at all because I'm seeking truth. I'm going to give you nothing but truth. He came to me and said, what should I do with the team? I said, fire everybody. Fire everybody. And if you're not doing right, then fire yourself. As a matter of fact, when you hire the right people, you're able to fire yourself and retire yourself into a higher level in a higher seat of the CEO. Listen, when you do this thing the right way, you're not even supposed to be the CEO. You become a founder and you hire a CEO. And that's when you're truly free. I try not to go too deep with everybody because I want you to first understand what it's like to pick up your phone and make sales and brand you and not be scared of your voice. Guys, this is what the Breakfast with the Brand. This is my time. You know, we here to serve you. You know, we want to help you. We want to help you be successful. Trade 4 figures for 5, 5 figures for 6. Trade 10 years of your life for the rest of your life. And what you'll learn is that you love investing because every time you invest, you transform and you get a different reality on the back end of it. And you become a different person that's able to do more, be more, and have more, give more, and actually live more because of what you're able to give. Like giving is the key to living. If you don't know that, then you're kind of in a bad place. I promise you. That link down there will change your life between the days of March 18th to March 22nd. 5 days. If you like this, you'll absolutely love that. That's a guarantee. We've made mountains of molehills. And that's because somebody did that for me. That's why we give this back. That's why we do this every single day, same time, same place. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. It will be back tomorrow. You can count on it. You can set your time by it. You can set your time by it. I don't need an alarm clock. An alarm clock needs me. I drink coffee, but I don't need coffee. Coffee needs to drink me. Let's grow.